Inexpensive book is not a problem. Think of the intellectual property that you're sending over to China, that once you give to them, they own it, they can now charge the price that they want to, and that we've lost it. So keep in mind when we're talking about technology, when it goes to China, it's gone.
I wonder how long it's going to be before somebody hacks the ad-supported Kindle to become a predator. They already said the hardware is identical.
I think they probably invested quite a bit in encryption stuff to, yeah,
but I mean, you doubt
somebody smart out there is going to crack it. Yeah.
Save $25 for it.
I was worried about creep. Like, sorry.
Did you say you're a creep?
Yeah, I mean, about like advertising creep, where they say like today it's only on the splash screen, or it's only like during when it's sleeping, and then before you know it, it's like every other page in your book, and you've paid into it by taking that $25 discount.
You know, here's what I say about this. So there are two things. It should be cheaper, I think, personally. And then the other thing is some of the coupons they're giving away is like half off something. It's like, what was it, a Kindle gift card, $10 for $20 worth of stuff at Amazon. Over time, you might actually save enough money to cover the cost of the device, and it doesn't really matter so much anymore. Right? I don't know. Just thinking. Speaking of iPads, iPads for kindergartners, experts applaud district's decision. So in Maine, $200,000 being spent on iPads for young students.
I have to say,
Anybody else? Are there any dissenters? Anybody that doesn't like this idea?
They're just not going to know how to clean up messes anymore.
Clean up messes?
Because when you use finger paints, you make a mess. The whole part of your growing
They're
up.
not using it to replace tactile.
I know. I'm not against it. It's just one thing. One thing you think about. You're like, oh, we have to use it forever.
I will say,
it stays clean though. There's gonna be a lot of Kindles, iPads that end up just gunked up. The dock port's gonna be full of Play-Doh.
yeah, ours is already.
Kindergartners don't keep things clean generally.
I have a 6-year-old, and my wife's iPad, he was playing with it pretty much all day yesterday. And he left it on, just so I could see the glare of the light off of it, and it was dull.
Yeah. Our 2-year-old thinks every screen should be a touch screen. So she's like, not working, not working.
Well, that's a good point. Every screen should be a touch screen.
She's right there with you.
Tell Steve Jobs that. Wasn't he the one that argued against the touchscreen display?
He was talking about ergonomics.
Exactly. So, speaking of kids in kindergarten and first grade, they're not teaching my son cursive.
Yeah.
Good.
It's useless.
Wait a minute, I want fonts in there. I want.
They're teaching them fonts instead.
They actually are. So what that goes is, they're actually teaching them how to do word processing in class.
Oh my God.
In the first grade. And that's just so freaking cool.
So I've got more anecdotes. There was a news story of some really obscure website or something published a story about Steve Jobs, about some talk he gave years ago about fonts, and he basically dropped out of college after 6 months. You read this too? And he dropped out of college, but decided to hang around and take some weird classes. And one of the weird classes he took was calligraphy, and he learned about all those fonts. And when the original Mac was developed, that's where he went and said, we got to put different fonts in it. It's got to be surf and sans serif and all that. And he said in that interview that if he didn't take that class, he took it audited or whatever, I mean, he wasn't really enrolled, then the original Mac wouldn't have had anything except those same block letters that were on every computer at the time. There would never have been those fonts in it. Windows picked that up from Mac. We could all just be still looking at, the block lettering on computers now instead of having 4,000 fonts installed.
That talk was actually a Stanford commencement speech, so you can go look that up on iTunes and find it. It's a really great talk. If you haven't listened to it, you really need to go do it. It's amazing.
And what that did was that drove him to look at the aesthetics of things, of how things are look and feel, and that's why his comment about the Mac computer, he says, if you look at Detroit, he said Detroit concept cars look great. He said until you see a few years after, it looks like crap. And he says the reason why is engineers don't engineer it to the way it's supposed to look, and so that's why that aesthetics, he's driving the engineers to say, make it happen. You're the engineers, make it happen so it's aesthetically pleasing. So that whole thing has driven Mac design.
Speaking of Detroit, one of the stories I had that I skipped, Chevrolet posts best Q1 results in company history.
Your tax dollars are worth it.
Give us a read.
I've heard that they're hiring a lot of people now too. As from Toledo, Ohio, which is close to Detroit, and people are getting jobs in the automotive industry, like
Again,
more engineering, those types of jobs. But yeah, they're hiring those.
that's good. Jobs are good, right?
Yes, sir.
Who's looking for
You like
work?
that kind of thing.
Who in this room is looking for work? I know Chris is.
I thought you got hired.
Well, yeah, I am kind of hired, yeah, but yeah, a little bit. I'm yeah, a little bit pregnant, bitch. Even actually for my profile, you might guess, but yeah, I could go on, but
Okay, so what do we have, 3 or 4 people in the room? That's a really great. You're looking for?
I'm tired of my job.
Great, on video for everything.
No, I'm gonna take it out in the final cut.
Awesome. All right, so kindergartners, PhotoSynth for iOS. Anybody download this thing and play with it yet?
The what?
PhotoSynth.
look exactly like 360 camera.
Exactly. So 360 from Occipital is what everybody I know uses to create the 360s.
And it's also been around for a year.
And it's been around for a year. And Microsoft comes out with PhotoSynth for iOS to let you do the same thing.
First PhotoSynth has been around since like 2006. Yeah, but I think it's a little, fair to say they were innovators in the technological space.
Did you see the original TED on that? The guy that actually created the whole thing? If you haven't seen that, go see that. It's amazing. It's really cool.
Is it talkie yet?
Somebody did it. I can't remember the guy's name, but if you do PhotoSynth, Microsoft, and TED, you'll find it. It's really cool. And they also,
Ted, how about Ted going to American Idol?
I don't know about this.
Ted is now having auditions for the next TED convention, live auditions in New York City, and they're looking for production value.
That's scary.
They've officially jumped the shark, I think.
Yeah.
You should call it so you think you can tell.
Jeez. That's interesting.
It's the new
TED
party too.
So, I watch a lot of TED. I watch every TED that comes out. It's weird like that.
Did you see him print the kidney on stage?
Yes. Oh, I saw, was that a kidney?
It's a kidney.
Anyway, the ads are the same ads, and they're like 4 minutes at the end of the thing. It drives me nuts. BMW and IBM and Cisco.
Those are smart brands right there.
They are, but I stopped. So anyway, let's see. Chocolate compound beats coating for cough suppression.
Really?
Nothing. All
I
right.
use that.
Office 365 enters public beta. Office 365 enters public beta.
Office what?
What is that?
What is that? It's Google Docs. From Microsoft. Microsoft Google Docs.
Is it co-branded?
Awesome.
What's the marketing? What the name 365? Like they want me to work in spreadsheets every day or something?
So somebody hit the Wikipedia page and let's find out where it
They want to
is.
make sure you know it's 5 better than that. Whether you do it.
And there's a small business equivalent, Plan P1, sounds like a Microsoft product, for $6 per month. Excellent. Depends on if you pay. There's a corporate one.
Well, if you do the corporate, yeah, but if you do your regular.
That's what happens.
Well, I think the online office stuff is free, like the basic functionality.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just the added features.
Yeah, I think the other features are. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
All right, so this will probably be, well, no, it's 8:53. What are we talking about? What did I miss?
365 is part of it.
That's good, kind of like The Exorcist. So, who's heard the rumor about Apple selling TVs? Televisions? What do you think of that? Would you buy an Apple branded TV?
Is it relevant to touch it? Not everybody needs to touch it. I'm not gonna sit 2 feet like, oh, yeah, that's a lot.
Who said it's a
But a 5-year-old.
I'm not putting a 5-year-old anywhere near an Apple TV. That shit's gonna be $8,000. Yeah.